Ladies and gentlemen, they exist. 2 vittatas and 1 striata to be rehoused. Of course, all of the other odds and ends have to come here, but this looks like a nice cage. I'll describe it more in detail when I install it. Just a little teaser. This is the type of cage that's going to be used to rehouse these pokies. Sadly enough, only one of the corkbarks came, so for now I'm only going to be able to do Morgana, female P striata. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is just how I'm going to do these enclosures for the 3 pokies that I'm rehousing. And I did all 3 of these the same way. This is the corkbark. You can see at the bottom what I did was I just attached it to a CD box. And when I set that up, I'm going to add like a little bit of a, creature soil or something inside here just so that they don't have anything shining from the bottom. I did have enough space around the corkbark itself to glue 2 plants, which I managed to do for each one. Now, they might look a little silly now, but when they're underneath an inch or 2 of vermiculite, they'll look good, and you can see that they fit right into the cage. Like so. So, they'll fit right in here, and, I could put the water dish in there, and then, the tarantula, of course, will obviously go in here. This is going to be Morgana's cage, and the other 2 pieces of corkbark are from a piece that was too big that they sent me that I had to make. So, for the 2 vittatas, they look alike. You can see here, you can see where, I did have to, let me just put this back. You can see in the back I did have to do some repairs to the corkbark. The corkbark was partially crushed, so I had to put like a jar inside here and put a little rubber band around and do the repairs. And the bottom, of course, I did, but again, and these CD cases, the nice thing is this really firms up the corkbark so you can actually grasp it and pick it up. And of course you can put like a little glass ashtray or whatever right on top, over top of this, and it fits on very nicely, so that way you can contain the Poecilotheria. You can see through the holes in the side, obviously, they can still probably get out the side, so you would really, this would only be for brief containment. But, this should just give you a little bit more of an explanation as to how the cages will work, and what you will see when, in fact, I do or complete the rehousings. Probably won't be today, probably will be on my days off or tomorrow, unless I feel up to it doing it today. Anyway, thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, these are the new cages. You can see by way of comparison, Patrick's cage needs to be cleaned a little bit, but he's basically here. And yes, you can see pokies are in fact very visible in corkbark tubes. That's where they hide, so they're there. Even when you think they're not, they are. This is going to be Morgana's cage. You can see here, she's going to be by him, and she's a striata. This is going to be Clyde's cage, and he's going to be here. And I could put all the backing and stuff on there, all the paper and all that, and whatever, and the other stuff I need on there after the tarantulas in the cage. And this, of course, is going to be Bonnie's cage. Now, the females do have a little bit more color in their cage, and that's not just because I'm being chauvinistic. It's because it'll help me distinguish one from the other, and keep them apart. Otherwise I'm going to have to start putting name tags on them. As you can see, Bonnie has once again befouled her cage. Not very ladylike, my dear. Not at all, not at all. And Clyde, on the other hand, has been a little bit more tidy, but not by a whole lot. But they need to be rehoused big time. So, hopefully you'll see how the cages work. It's better actually to leave the backing off, because if I'm rehousing the tarantula, depending on how they run around and everything, they might run around behind the cage, and I'd want to catch that. And I'll also probably cut the backing off of these, I'll cut the backing off of these smaller cages. That way I can see where they're hiding, like behind the backing as I extract them. Oh, and somebody freaking molted. Damn, that's strange. No, well, it'll be fine. I'm not rehousing them today anyway. So, this should be kind of like, a Poecilotheria row. We'll just have, the row of hardcore right here, pokey row, like, you know, sort of like, you know, Skid Row or something like that, except it'll be for Poecilotheria species. Anyway, so this is the setup, I guess, part 2. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what you missed there was just me pulling the piece of decor, namely this, out of her old enclosure. She's still in there, and so I had to put a camera in a better mount, and so now we have the exciting part, moving the Poecilotheria. And she's still here in her pokey stance. It's probably better might have to calm down anyway. And let's just get her to move out. Come on. Come on, dear. Here. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Move. Move. Go on. Move. Good girl. Move. 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 Up. 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 Come on. Come on. Oh, go on up. Go on. Go on, baby. Go on. Go on. Oh, dear. Come on. Good. Get up. A little upset. Okay. That's fine. Get upset. Go on. Go on. Yep. Good girl. Here we go. Good. Okay. Good girl. Going up. We've run underneath here. Go on. Go on up. Good. Come on. Come on, Morgana. We don't want to go there. I want to go up. Up, up, up. Come on. She's straight. Yeah. There we go. Ooh. Shit. Come on. Come on, dear. Go on in. Go on. This one's a little more nervous. Go on. Go on. Go on up. Come on. Come on. Go there. We don't want to go there. Go on in. Go on. Good girl. Good girl. Gotcha. And she's in. Let me just close this damn thing. Okay, one pokey rehoused. Okay, everybody, next pokey to be rehoused. Clyde. Let's get everything out of here. Move him. Now, I'm going to increase my odds by pulling this out so he can run in anytime. He can run in the new cage anytime he likes. He's more than welcome to do that. And if he is on this bark, I'll just slide it right in. There we go. I don't know. I see him right there. Or at least a molt. To verify there's no pokey anywhere. Right? Okay. And I'm not going to let him hide on the water dish like the other one did. Run around and use that as a last ditch hiding place. You don't want that. You don't need that. And he's right here. Okay, and there he is. That is glued to that rock, holding him in. Now, move him. Okay, Clyde, okay. Want to explore? All right. Okay. Maybe he'll just figure out where to go on his own, huh? Big guy. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, here we go. Good boy. Go on. Where'd it go? No, it's not here, Clyde. It's not here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good. Perfection. How do you like that? Perfect. Absolutely freaking perfect. Take that, you wankers. Okay, this is going to be our last tarantula in our pokie rehouse. Third's the charm, right? Good one, or a bad one? That is the question. Okay. Now she is here. Now you always want to pull out the decor before we pull the tarantula. We allege. We think. Now, I can have visual on her. Okay, she moved. It's okay. She's down there. I can see her. Pulling this out. Okay. Now, let's get the water dish. We don't want that to be an obstacle of last resort, and it's farthest away from her. I'm coming to hate these water dishes. And okay, and we'll pull this out. If she wishes to run to a newer place, power to her. Hey, buddy, come on. Come on. Come on, here you go, come on. Come on. Bonnie, no, it's not food. Bonnie, it's not food. Okay, but if you want to hang on to it, yeah, we can do that. We can move you over. If you want. Okay, go on. Go on, girl. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, okay. Come on. Yeah, if you want, we can do that. Come on, girl. Come on. There we go. Let's go. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Go on, baby. Come on. Okay. And there we go. She needed to be levitated. Somebody's too much of a snob, too lazy to go over there themselves. Nice work, Bonnie. We had a little bit of an acrobatics there. And let's close this before you change it. Oh, before she looks pissed. Oh, Christ's sakes, get shut. No. No, don't screw me this way. Don't screw me this way, Cage. Okay. Good. We're done. Okay, and we are done. She's rehoused. This is the epilogue video. How are they doing? Let's see. And it looks like Bonnie has not yet found her home. Oh yes, Bonnie is. Just get it right back in front of her. You can see she's right back here. She's looking very calm and very peaceful. I assume this phone is catching the image of her. Yeah, it is. Good. Okay, so she's doing very well. And Clyde is, as you would expect, he is happily in his abode. I really can't shoot that well through the screen, but he is, yeah, he is in there, very deeply in there. And where's Bonnie at? Oh, and this is Morgana. It is also, as you can see, the little feet sticking out. See the little feet? I think those are feet sticking out. Or did she go back in? No, she's out. Oh no, she's actually hiding down here. There she is, you can see. I think you can see where she's at. Okay. Or maybe you can't, I don't know. Yeah, she's back there. She's hidden it very well, but they are doing great. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is the conclusion of our pokie rehousing video. Overall assessments are they went pretty smoothly. Now, the first one with Morgana, slight mistake was made. I left her water dish in there, and that gave her just that little bit of hope that she could just hide behind it and just kind of try to stay home, and then eventually she had to go home. But the water in the bathtub idea succeeded beautifully. She ran down, put 2 toes in the water, 4 up, back up in there. I think the camera caught it. I haven't even reviewed the footage lately. I'm just doing like post-rehouse reaction before I've reviewed anything, before I've looked at everything. I just did the wrap up. The teas are in the cages. They're fine. And now I have to put put their stuff on the shelves and, pretty up the cages and all that. The doors on those things are stiff. Other tip for the future: when you rehouse a tea, if the door is kind of stiff, slide the door around, maybe get it to open up, or maybe even put just a touch of olive oil on the rails or something so that it slides better, because the old door opened up, of course, a lot easier than the new one. But of course, Terra Blue builds the ultimate cage as well. So I have 3 cages. Wonder what kind of 3 dwarf species would live in those cages. Those are some weird size cages. Damn, let me tell you, I'm gonna put these things on the shelves, and I don't know, I feel like going out getting a bottle of wine or something and celebrating. 3 in a row. They walked over by themselves. Of course, Bonnie has to take the trapeze over. She has to be, personally escorted, because she's a real special one. She couldn't quite figure out what part of this Q-tip do I eat? I think it's food. I swear to God, it's food. No, where's the juicy layers? Here's a new cage. Oh, okay. Most powerful feeding response I've ever seen. I think that my Sturmy and my elk loogie, I think they would have been proud to call that one of their own. But amazing. She was just hanging off the thing by like 2 fangs and nothing else, trying to where do I eat? Where do I eat? And she does the same thing when she's eating roaches and stuff. She'll try to feel along and get them. Well, it was amazing. So I think everybody will enjoy these videos, and I think I managed to refrain from profanity. Might have let a few out, but that's also kind of a miracle in and of itself. I was so focused on what I was doing, I was like, I can't really have time to talk. Anyway, enjoy the videos or have a good laugh at my expense. All right, everybody, here's Pokie Row, Patrick, Morgana. I forgot that cage had a feeding port, so I poured water through the screen at the top. The infamous Clyde, who intelligently rehoused himself. Good guy. And of course, Bonnie, who decided she wanted to take a free ride. Oh, what girl hasn't tried that before? And they say they're not like people. Of course, I also direct your attention to the false ice cube with the bug on the inside of it. That, of course, is the most important cage accessory that we have. I'll just zoom in on that because obviously it's important. Anyway, and that's the epilogue, part 2 to the epilogue, and I'm done. Good night. I'm editing this and going to bed.